Imagine that you had a musical tool to take charge of your own well-being and to manifest the best in you. Hi, my name is Jeena Earthiva and I'm the founder of Conscious Music Code, music-based coaching technique for your personal growth and well-being. To pierce through your conscious mind and transform your hidden limiting beliefs, negative emotional tendencies, and thought patterns. Join me on this musical journey of unleashing your own inner greatness.
Hello, my lovelies! This is Jenny from Jenny's Fun Facts. We just want to take a moment to thank you so much, P Eats Meal Preps, for sponsoring our episodes. New menu out every Friday, order by Sunday, delivered fresh by Tuesday, and guess what? They deliver to all Montreal surrounding areas as well. Healthy, fresh, and delivered to your door for free. Add them and our podcast on Instagram at p.eats_P as in Peter, R-E-P as in Peter, S. Thanks, P Eats Meal Preps.
Welcome to Noon Hour Out of the Box. This is episode 46. A huge thank you to all our viewers. We so appreciate your constant support and love. Another thank you to Jenny Duhame, who filled in for me last week. You did an amazing job, Jenny. Jenny is our producer and, of course, our very close friend. And to Robert D'Alessio, my co-host, my mentor, and my good friend. Thank you so much for being here. And how are you doing?
I'm doing just great. And you know what? We're at episode 46, and that episode 5 was creeping up on us. And
yes,
it won't
is.
be too long before we get there. Esther, I want to ask you, how are you doing? Because you were out, you were under the weather a little bit. But now you're back, and we're glad to have you back. So what happened exactly?
So, guys, after avoiding it for over 2 years, I caught COVID.
Unreal.
Yeah. So first Fernando got it, and about 2 days later I tested positive, and I didn't have a very bad case of it, more like a flu. And but I guess it's more fatigue than anything that got to me. Unfortunately, I did not have my voice last week, so I could not join you guys, but I'm back. I'm still recovering, but I'm super happy to be back. I have my voice and I'm here. I'm excited. And guys, one little extra thing I need to let you know, that we are actually live on TikTok right now as we speak. This is a bit of an experiment, and we have quite a few people tuning in. And it's under the name of Esther Brzezinski on TikTok. So you could actually see the behind the scenes of what's going on now on our live podcast/broadcast. So that is exciting.
It is exciting. And Esther, I tip my hat off to you. Such a great initiative on your part. This was your idea, and I love it because the audience gets to see the other side of what goes on in our show. It's, they see the production and all that, but, to see what's going on and with the control board as we're putting up all of the comments and all that, it just, so the audience can participate a little bit. And I guess they can see the control board right now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So they see the laptop, they see the the ring light, and they see the screen in front of them. So that's fascinating. We're on StreamYard. This is the app that we use. And if you want to see the behind the scenes, you could also go on TikTok and watch it simultaneously, even if you're able to do that. So you can get a feel of what we do and the tools that we use behind the scenes. But Robert, today we have a super exciting guest.
We sure do.
We chatted with her a little bit backstage. We did some research on her prior, and I actually listened to some of her tools that she uses to help people. And I'm very impressed and so excited to bring her on. Let's find out who she is.
There you go.
Jeena Earthiva. So Jeena Earthiva is a Wellbeing-Tech Entrepreneur, transformational coach, and conscious artist. She's also the founder of Conscious Music Code, which is a unique music-based coaching tool for personal growth, transformation, and well-being. Let's bring her on, Robert.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is our guest coming to you live from Mumbai, India, Miss Jeena
Yay!
Earthiva.
Hello.
Jeena, it's
How are
such a
you?
pleasure to have you on.
I'm so excited. Just the energy here in this room is like superb.
So, is this have something to do with the yin and the yang? Whatever I'm not really,
Could be because I see a lot of like balanced, beautiful, relaxed energies. It's 9:35 p.m. for me, but I'm feeling so full of energy. I was feeling a little dragged just before the podcast, and I was thinking, I should be up and about. And after hearing you guys chat, and after a little
Oh,
backstage activity,
You
I
know
felt
what,
full of
Jeena?
energy.
With Robbie and Esty, you will never go flat. There's always
Yeah.
energy in the
Yeah,
air.
I like that.
that's for sure. Absolutely.
Jeena,
Just
listen, you have a heartwarming story to tell us. Something very unexpected, something sudden, life-changing happened to you in 2013, and it changed your life forever. So, Jeena, take the stage and go ahead and tell the audience what happened to you in 2013.
Yeah, so in 2013, I was doing really well with my singing career. Um, I had completed my master's in computer science and decided that I will not go into an IT job. So ever since I passed out from college, I just went ahead and started singing, and beautiful opportunities were coming my way. You can say in 2013, I was at the best part of my career till then. And then suddenly, I had a problem with my voice. I thought it's a throat infection or something like that. And so I went to the doctor saying, okay, I can't sing. There's no sound coming out of my voice. And then they tried to give me medication, and it didn't work. And this process of going to doctors, testing this and that, and the medication, this went on for uh, for 3 years basically. And after, in fact, 1 year or so, I gave up on the doctor part, and I realized that this is just not changing. I could not sing anymore, which also meant that I had no career at that point. I didn't know who I was anymore because my name was Sukanya at that point, and Sukanya was a singer. So now you take away the singing, now we don't know who Sukanya is anymore. And I went through a massive, of course, identity crisis. um, no career. My mental health went down, 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 down. I just kept spiraling down. And in that period, I felt as if there was darkness, just darkness. That's all that was there around me. Not just figuratively, literally. I would wake up with complete fog in my mind and didn't know what was happening. Anyway, so anxiety, depression, couldn't sleep, insomnia. I couldn't digest food. My hair was falling. Like, everything just started going wrong. And I had the wrongest relationships also at that time, not just in a romantic sense. In every way, everything was just going wrong. Everything. And at that point, I came across this line that said, this was a line by my mentor, Dr. Daisaku Ikeda. And he said, we have to transform the life state of humankind. And I was like, wow, that's so beautiful. This is like, he's talking about changing the way, the consciousness of humanity. That's so wonderful. But then this line started to annoy me. It started to irritate me because I knew that I was in a very dark place. So every time I thought of that line, it just made me feel worse about myself. Like, okay, I want to help people, but I feel like I just want to die. Like, nothing's going right. I was suicidal at that time. And despite that irritation in my mind, that line stayed with me. And based on that line, I would somehow be able to get up from bed. That was a struggle, just getting up from bed. And I knew I couldn't sing. So what else do I do? I just decided, what if I aim for transforming the life state of humankind with music? And I don't know how, but it just has to happen. And I just said that. And I got up and started playing with this music software. And I didn't know anything about that music software. I just started like a kid. And because I was not trained in music production, I was able to stumble upon the concept on which conscious music code, what I do now, is based. And it's just that mind interacts with music and sound, and the interaction and association of the mind with the sound can produce an effect that 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 stays, and then you start looping that effect. And if it's a positive effect, you can loop that, and you can rewire the negative loops of your thoughts and your emotions and turn it into positive, because now you've consciously chosen which sound represents what positive emotion or what positive thought in your mind. So it was just a simple idea that I stumbled upon, but the repercussions of using that idea was great. So anyway, I went ahead and started making stuff around it, and I didn't even know how to produce music properly. So I was just honestly like a kid, just trying to find her way. And three years later, I actually recovered from my mental health, from my voice issues, from my digestion issues, from my hair falling issues, from insomnia, whatever, all issues on my own, just using this technique and that line of transforming the life state of humankind. So I was no longer concerned about me and my voice and my career and my situation. I was thinking, how can we do something that affects whole of humanity? And my pain and my suffering is going to be the fuel for that work. And after 3 years, when I got back my voice, I started singing again. I went back to being Sukanya, the singer, but I did not tell people about what I was making for these 3 years. I thought people would think I'm crazy, or she's gone too woo-woo and whoa. So I just wanted to stay safe, play safe. And almost 9 years since I started. So in 2019, no, that's not 9 years. Yeah, that's about 6 years. And then it took 2-3 more years to consolidate things. So in 2019, I decided to change my name and give myself a new name, because it felt like I found a new identity of who I was. Jeena Earthiva. It means, Jeena means to live. Earthiva means to be born out of the earth, to serve the earth. And put those two words together, and I launched what I call today Conscious Music Code. And that's how my business started, and the technique started talking about it. And yeah, it was a huge shift. And now I'm on the path of elevating humanity, empowering humanity to elevate itself using music as a tool. That's what Conscious Music Code is.
So I'm curious, how does Conscious Music Code differ from regular music therapy?
Yes, thank you for asking that question, because with music therapy or sound healing, or let's say sound-based meditation, all of those things are very beautiful. They all work. The only problem, or let's not call it a problem, the only limitation is that it tells you that so-and-so frequency, so-and-so music will help you feel better, which is fine, which does happen. But what's interesting with Conscious Music Code is that while we have those healing frequencies and beautiful sounds to make you feel better, I don't want to harp on that fact. I want to harp on the fact that you have the capability and the greatness and the hidden abilities to bring out the brilliance of your own life just on your own. The music code, the Conscious Music Code, is just a technique for you to rediscover or just find within you what you had forgotten about yourself, which is all the greatness, all the things you think you don't have. So this is more engaging. In a very simple way, I can say, when you go through a Conscious Music Code process, you're not just listening to the music. You have to do something with your body, because I believe the body never lies. And so if you let the body interact with the music, not just from the ears and the mind and the visualization, of course that is there, but also let the body actually feel the sounds and then move to the sounds. And you don't have to be a dancer to move along. You can just do whatever, some small activity. Sometimes I get people to do voice stuff. They can hum along or do something with their voice. So there's an interaction between you and the music. So it's not that the music will do the work for you. It can, but you take onus. You take charge of creating happiness and well-being within your life. You don't wait for someone else or something else to do it for you. And I think that's the biggest problem right now with the well-being industry, according to me, is everybody is trying to say, I know more than you. I'm the guru, or I'm the, expert on healing. So I will tell you what to do. You don't know anything. And I have a kind of a problem with that, because I'm like, everyone knows in the core of their lives, everyone knows. We just have to remind them. So it's not that I know more than others just because I created a technique. Maybe about the technique I know more, but everybody has greatness, and my technique is just to kind of pull that greatness out of you. That's all.
Your mic is not on, Robert. That's
The
okay.
mic,
Yeah.
the mic is now on.
That's okay. This is all part and parcel. What happens when we go live? It's
Well, I was
fantastic.
just testing to see how you're going to react before I turn the mic on. How's that?
That's perfect. Got us.
So I listened to Jeena. I got inspired to ask her the following question: how is all of this technique that you're using associated to chakras? You use all that together with meditation?
So chakras are just nothing but energy centers. Like, you can say how you plug in. There's a main electrical point in the house, and then you have plug points. So chakras are like plug points, right? Just energy centers. So music, different frequencies affect all chakras depending on what kind of frequencies we use. However, I keep saying this again and again. If you want something to hit you in the belly, if that's where you want to feel it, you can feel it just by the conscious association with it. So while we choose consciously sounds that are going to hit you there, but you can also make it. So right now, I'll do a little exercise. Just close your eyes and just think of any party or any place where you felt the music in your belly, like you just felt the doom, 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 that like kick beat. Can you just imagine that just for 3 seconds? Like loud but very bass and heavy sound that you felt in your belly, and you felt energized by it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And you now do this. Just play that sound in your mind and increase the volume. Increase the volume.
Jeez,
Keep
I
increasing
can
the
feel
volume.
myself. You're losing weight here.
Yeah. And when you increase the volume, see what happens in your belly. Yeah. And now slowly reduce the volume of the sound in your mind and see how it settles after that.
It feels soothing. It feels settling. It feels smooth.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
I agree.
So see,
And it
not
seems to
made-
spread. It spreads over the entire
Yeah.
belly
You
area.
know, Jeena, maybe we should hang out.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with a lot of people ask me, oh, so you do this music thing, and what happens after the music stops? Then people are not empowered. I said, no. You can get the effect of music even without playing the music. You just got it. We didn't play anything.
Right,
You
that's
chose
true.
a song, I chose a song, Robert chose a song, and we don't know what song we chose or which situation we chose, but we saw the effect, and it was kind of unanimous, our response, right? So that means our mind is more powerful than the music itself. You see, it's our interaction with the music
Yes.
that is creating the change. So we don't need the music to act. So with conscious music code, we have these daily rituals which are used to create habits. I give an example. When the bell rings, you open the door. You don't open the window. Why? Because your mind is conditioned with this idea that the bell is a doorbell, not a window bell. So
Well, unless we start installing doorbells on Windows.
exactly. So, and if we condition ourselves to open windows when that tone happens, then we'll start open. So when we open the door, we don't have to motivate ourselves or plan. Oh, now the bell has rung. Let me count to 1, 2, 3, and then get up and open the door. So if we can just do it without even thinking, why can't we do the same thing with sound that triggers a positive thought? So now let's say both of you say something horrible to me. This is an example. You are my friends, but one fine day you just decide, okay, we're going to hurt Jeena. One fine day you just decide. Now, suppose you do that. Now, I'm not normally I would be very hurt. Oh my God, Esther and Robert are my best friends. Why are they hurting me? So I would be disturbed. But with this technique, what happens is, even if your closest people, or even if something, something goes wrong that you don't expect, because of the sound programming in your mind, you're able to deal with the same negative situation with a positive response, exactly the way you opened the door without even thinking. So now you throw negativity at me, I'm going to instantly go to that doorbell kind of a situation where I instantly go into a positive mode without even having to motivate myself and go positive. It's become part of my coding. That's why it's called code. If you
And
can get people to practice it, yeah,
you've
it's
made
great.
an instant fan. We got someone tuning in from Ontario, Canada,
Oh,
Kathy
nice.
Mulroy or Merv McLaughlin, and she says she and her husband are going to give it a try. And Esther, just before we go into your question over here, our producer has a question for the audience. So
Okay.
the question is, have you created mantras or special techniques to elevate your voice, including your inner voice?
Oh,
Hmm.
love that question. I love that question. And that's Jenny, right?
Yes, that's
Exactly.
Jenny.
Yes.
Jenny, I have to sit with you for an hour someday, because I have a lot to discuss with you, because the fact that you asked that question, voice and inner voice, that just opens up doors of thoughts in my mind. And yeah, it's crazy, because when I lost my voice is when I found my true voice. It's funny.
Wow, I love that.
When I lost my voice, the ability to sing,
Yes.
is when I heard the voice of my soul, you can say. That's when I found the true voice of who Jeena was. Up till that point, I was just singing Bollywood music. And if you know anything about Indian Bollywood film music,
Yes.
it's just, it's fun music, everything is fine. But there's a lot of messaging that is unconscious, and that's disempowering. And that's the case with all sorts of pop music everywhere, I think. Um, but I had to perform that stuff on stage, and I would make money from it. I would, do really well. People loved my voice, and but something in my soul was not aligning with that kind of messaging and that kind of, songs that say, oh, I can't live without you, I'm going to, my existence is, there's no existence of me without you. Apparently that's a proclamation of love. To me, no. That's that you're just declaring that you're dependent, you're not. So, these kinds of little things that has programmed us with beliefs about that disempower us. I don't stand for that. I stand for people who can say, you know I love you, want to be with you, because I want. I can be with myself, but I still want to be with you. I choose. That's just an example. But we've been programmed with music and films and this and that to have negative beliefs around ourselves, and that's not fun. And then people commit suicide. People get into depression because somebody had a breakup. Like, where's that coming from? It's all that programming and that conditioning. So with conscious music code, it's not just a technique and my business and all that. It's also a movement of conscious people coming together to choose music consciously, because what you feed here is what you produce in your reality.
So, what is your ultimate vision with all this? What's your end game, so to speak?
So yeah, I love that question, because the vision on my website, if you go to consciousmusiccode.com, you'll see there's a vision page, and that page is about 2030 specifically, and beyond, of course. 2030 is when the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals is aimed at. Um, so there are three goals out of the 17 that I am working towards. The goal for health and well-being, SDG 3, that is SDG 12 and 16. I'm not going into the details. So I want to use my business and my technique to support that. And I want to reach 10 million people through conscious music code. And that cannot happen just by me talking about it. That can only happen when enough people start talking about it and spreading it on their own. And the idea is, of course, we all want to make money, get rich, and be famous. That part of me is very much there. But I also want to leave behind a legacy of human beings empowering other human beings. So even when I'm dead and gone, after 2000 years, somebody is experimenting and improvising on top of conscious music code and building their own stuff on top of this. And that's going to make me really happy if I'm around to see that, or if I'm not, it doesn't matter. But I want to leave behind that legacy of empowerment. And I want to also say that if you go on althealth.me, you can see some of my programs already there.
Yes.
And I'm going to put up more. So it's I want to welcome people to Alt Health and buy my programs if you're interested in buying. Why? Because if you go to my website, you can go to my website also. The only thing is with Alt Health, you get the whole community feeling. And there's beautiful channels and talking about various health issues, well-being issues. There's a burnout channel that I think I'm going to be involved in. And I have a burnout program called Beat the Burnout. It's a program to really get rid of stress and anxiety and all that from the root using music. So if you want to check out and try any of these programs, go to althealth.me and check it out. And if you want to read up more about Conscious Music Code, then go to consciousmusiccode.com. And yeah.
Just a little comment here, folks. Whether you're on TikTok, Esther's channel, my channel, the YouTube channels, or my personal Facebook page, please feel free to come in the chat and leave your comments. You can ask questions. We're still live. We're still going. You got an interesting conversation going. So feel free to ask your questions and participate. You're more than welcome. And Jeena's going to be happy to answer or address any of your questions or concerns.
I also want to point out of all the social links for Jeena, for Instagram and Facebook, Jeena Earthiva, is that correct? Earthiva,
Yeah,
and
Earthiva.
Conscious Music Code, and they're actually separate pages, and you can find them on Instagram and Facebook as well. And I started following both of them yesterday, so I'm a fan.
In fact, I want to invite everyone to try the free experience.
Oh.
And I want everyone who's watching this, take my free experience. I'm going to try and see if I can put the link in, if you can put it here.
Okay, well, you can send it to me in private chat, and while you're
there it is. It's on private chat.
Okay, well, yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up in the banners while Esther and you can continue the conversation. Esther, if you're okay with that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I did try the free Conscious Music Code tool that you give out for those who sign up, and I thought it was brilliant. And I loved how it slowly built up, and the association with experiences and past experiences and thoughts that you had that are associated to music, and that really resonated with me, because naturally, and I think a lot of people feel this way, they naturally make associations with music, whether it's a song they heard as a child or something that's reminiscent of a beautiful vacation they had, or of a time that was very difficult. It's deep and it's emotional, and it just is very powerful. So it works, guys, because I listened to it and I was there. I was traveling. So
that's
I
good.
thought it was amazing.
I heard that a lot. Like people say I traveled and came back. And so I'm just saying that we have problems in our lives, or situations in our lives, challenges in our lives, the negative stuff. Now, if we can make our awareness travel outside of that chaotic environment that we sometimes go into quite often, actually. So the situations can stay chaotic, that's fine. But if your awareness can move out of it and go somewhere, you can get wisdom, you can get creativity, you can get solutions to things here that need to be addressed. But if you stay stuck in the loop of problems, challenges, this, that, then you're just there. So even if you try going to a yoga retreat and it's beautiful, you have a good time, but you go only for 2 days. And when you come back to that reality, you're back to square one. And this is where with Conscious Music Code, what I do is I give you daily rituals which are involving sounds. You can do them anywhere, just take out 5 minutes. And the idea is to practice, because neuroplasticity, it's like you keep repeating. And even if you don't understand difficult cognitive neuroscience terms, it's just simple. You learned the tables by repeating it. You learned a song by repeating its lyrics. You learned everything by repeating it. So why not learn how to create positive emotional tendencies, positive thought patterns, positive beliefs by repeating. And you repeat with music, the job is done faster because music talks to your soul. It bypasses all your conscious mind and your that fog that we have in the brain. It bypasses all that, don't mind my word, but I say it bypasses all the rubbish and the crap and goes straight to your soul, affects your soul, and you then remember it even when the music is not playing. So throughout the day, you're in that zone. And then if you practice it for 66 days, you create a habit that will not leave you. So initially it was 21 days. The newest neuroscience tells us that people are so defocused and unfocused, and whatever is the right word, that you need 66 days instead of 21 days to build a habit. So.
Jeena, I believe you have some music you wanted to share with us. Give us a little bit of a sampling.
Okay, so I think that we can leave people on that note, enough of talking. So we just are going to take people into a little small 2-3 minute experience. Okay.
Wonderful.
Here we go, guys. I'm going to share my screen and my sound. Okay, so all of you who are watching, just close your eyes and listen to this. I'm just setting it up. Give me 1 second. Oh.
Just before Jeena plays that, we're going to be playing our program identification clip. So stand by.
You're tuned into Noon Hour Out of the Box.
So Jeena, when you're ready to share the
I'm
screen.
I'm ready.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, we don't have anything popping up over here. And our
Hold
monitor
on,
at the bottom.
I'm sharing it.
Okay.
Here we go. You will see an iTunes screen for now.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go. So, folks, Jeena's ready to share her music here. So, Jeena, we'll let you take the lead from here because you know exactly what your music is all about. So, folks, stand by.
Okay. So, everyone, just inviting you to close your eyes and just listen to this sound. Just listen to it and focus on yourself as you listen to this sound. And just become aware of what thoughts are passing you by. Let the thoughts just pass. Let them just float away. Let them come and let them float away. And now I'm going to introduce you to a new sound. Get ready for it. It's going to be a rhythmic sound, and we're going to think of something together with it. While this beat is playing, it's an Indian instrument actually that's playing. I want you to think of all the things that you'd have to do in your daily life. You have to wake up, you have to go for work, you have to do this, you have to do that. Just look at all the aspects of your life, your family life, your work life, your whatever, everything that you have to do. Just think of everything. And notice where you feel the resistance or where you feel slightly negative, where you feel a little more positive. And let the beats get intense, and as the beats get intensified, you just keep thinking of all that's going on in life, the chaos of life. And you're going from one place to another, not just physically but also mentally. All the multitasking, all the things that need to happen for things to run fine in your life. And now, when you've got that in your mind, I want you to listen to this new sound. Now just focus on the sound of this violin. And notice how this sound is rising. So I want you to now take both your palms and slowly make circles by rubbing your palms together in circular manner. So like this. And imagine that you're climbing out of your current chaotic reality and you're literally going up above all the situations in your life, letting your awareness travel above everything that's going on and seeing your life from the bird's eye view. So just with your palms, keep going round and round, rubbing round and round, and just pick up your hands. Basically, just let your palms go up as they're rubbing against one another. Go up, 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 above your head, and drop down. And again. And as you move your hands up, you're basically sending your awareness above all the problems of your life. Up, 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 up. And drop again and go one more time with the violin. Go up, 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 up. You are higher than all the problems that may come to you. Your awareness has the ability to just move above everything. So send it up as you keep rubbing your palms in circular manner and moving them up, up, up above your head. Drop again and then start. And this time take a deep breath in. And breathe in a sense of gratitude for your inner ability to deal with everything that's going on. You are amazing. You are awesome for having been able to do all that you do in your life. Go up, up, up with your palms. And now, just be with yourself and with this sound. And notice what thoughts are coming to your mind after you've completed this process. Notice how your body is feeling. Stay with that sense of empowerment, that sense of power over your life situations. You get to decide how you feel. You get to decide what perspective you have in your life. You are the master of your inner experience of life. Let that feeling stay in your body. And as I fade the sound, continue playing the sound in your mind and hold on to that feeling. And when you're ready, slowly and gently open your eyes. Come back to our present reality.
You know, Jeena, I'm going to tell you something. You opened up a can of worms. You created your own monster because I feel so energized. Esther, I'm speaking for you too. We got bad news for you. We're staying on for 2 hours today.
Yeah.
And this, by the way, is not a special edition. It's a very, very special edition of Noon Hour Out of the Box. We're breaking the bank here. 15-minute budget. We're at 38 minutes in, and we're still going strong.
I was in the sky and I was at the ocean at the same time. And all I could see was sky and ocean. Like, I don't know.
That's so beautiful.
I don't know what happened.
Esther, do you mind, Esther, if I bring something up?
Sure.
Because I know you're open just like I am. Esther suffers chronically from migraines. Now, this exercise here, I'm under the impression is going to work miracles for her.
It was because I've been having chronic headaches, especially with COVID.
Right.
So I felt it go away. And I have chills, and it's not fever.
No, you got chills but not fine, right?
My day. I mean, every time I hear these different, because everyone has different visuals and different parts of their bodies that light up or something. What you said, Esther, about being in the ocean and the sky at the same time, for me, that translates to grounding and flying at the same time, which is the balance of being and doing, the balance of feminine and masculine, that state. You probably touched that state somewhere in the exercise. And and with Robert saying that he felt energized, I feel like that's the whole point. If you feel your life energy pulsating through you, then that's it, right? Then everything else that we have to deal with in life, we can. So, too many people are waiting for happiness to happen to them.
Yes.
I created a program called Happiness Now because I am done with waiting for happiness to happen to me. I want to be the creator and the manufacturer of the happiness that needs to happen to me. So you can do what you want with me. You can say what you want. Life can throw all the rubbish at me. But I decide inside of me how I feel.
Yes.
That life doesn't get to decide. That I get to decide. And when I am able to translate this to people and they're able to experience it even for a moment, I'm like, if you experience it for a moment, if you repeat it, it will become your daily practice. And then the bell rings, you open the door. It's going to be as simple as that, So that's my hope. So everyone who's watching, please do check out all these things that we're talking about. I don't just want to talk about it. I want everyone to experience it. And yeah, that's what it is.
I would like to add something. I just realized that some people have a hard time sleeping. And let's say they're on the job, whatever, and they have a lunch break. It's a 1 hour lunch break. They could easily take even 30, 40 minutes of their time for lunch. And with this, they're going to regenerate. They'll be able to function the whole day.
Absolutely. In fact, do you mind if I share something on the screen?
By all means, yes.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to show you something interesting that I'm going to give you a sneak peek into my own program. Okay, let me show you this. Okay. So you will see now, right now, you will see this is a dummy account inside my website. So if you buy something on my website, I mean, if you buy it through Alt Health or wherever, however you buy it, you will come into a program like this. So it will show you my e-programs. And when you go to my e-programs, the one that Robert was talking about, even in the middle of your work or something, I suggest you get this program. It's called
Beat the Burnout. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And there are 3 versions of it. One is for the education type situation where whether you're a student or a teacher, it works. One is for corporates, and the other I'm heavily working on is the healthcare version, where these nurses and these staff, they don't have the time to breathe. Like they just, so I created this with that in mind, like how can we create something quick and powerful that works like a hack in the mind. So if you go into it, you get this kind of this is how it looks inside of the program. You get an introduction, and then you don't just get the music, you also get this reflections document that actually takes you through a journaling experience. Even if you don't write it, you can just reflect on it. There are questions that are asked, but while you look at the question, you're supposed to listen to the sound. So one is the guided musical journeys, and the other is the soundtrack. So first you do the guided musical journey. Everything is stored in you now. After that, you listen to the soundtrack as many times as you want, and you journal to those questions. And you see, this is about relaxing and rejuvenating at the same time. The second one is about deep release and letting go of what you don't need. It could be an emotion, it could be a thing, it could be a person, it could be anything. And the last journey is reconnecting with body, mind, and heart. And I place the word body before mind because I truly believe that the body never lies. So if you first connect with your body, then you talk to your mind and your heart. Once they're all in sync and they're saying the same thing, then magic happens. Then you really don't have to worry about productivity or any of that. People worry about those things. You don't have to worry about all of that. You just are in sync. So this program is something I suggest for everyone. And once you get it, this is lifetime access. So you can access it from your phone. You can access it anywhere. These hacks are just 4.5 to 5 minutes. And you can do it anywhere. Now, I have programs that have musical journeys for 20 minutes. I'm not suggesting that one for everyone because that's for people who really want to go deep into transformation. But the burnout program is for everyone because everyone I'm talking to, whether they like to admit it or not, they're all burning out in their own ways. So Yeah.
By
That's
the
much.
way, we have a comment here from Kathy Mulroy, who's an active member of the audience, our good friend Kathy from Ontario,
Yeah.
Canada. And
Yeah.
she says, I was wondering about just the sounds after you learn. So, Jeena, what's your
Yes.
take on that?
Yeah. So if you're, it depends on how what your learning process is.
There's a
Um,
clarification right there at the bottom right now.
um,
Do you mean the style of frequency or playlist you should gravitate to? So that's a
yeah, exactly.
clarification.
Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes we want to learn a new emotional behavior. Sometimes we want to learn how to respond to things differently than we usually do. And I'm sure we all want to do that. Like somebody triggers me, I don't want to be triggered that by that person. So if that's the kind of learning you want to aim for, or you want to say, do so, if you're a student and you want to learn something from your books faster and better, or you want to be more productive and have better focus at work, whatever is your personal growth process, the sounds, once they're anchored into your mind, it becomes like a code. And if you keep repeating it, after a while, your entire growth process is enhanced, and it becomes faster and better and more joyful. I forgot to mention this. Conscious music code is meant to be fun. So you have fun in the learning process. So if that's what you meant, and if I was able to answer, let me know. If you meant something else, then we can answer that as well.
Hey, Asa, just for the fun of it, you have your phone in front of you. You have the
Yes.
TikTok audience,
Yes.
and I'm under the impression that we have a huge response from the audience on TikTok.
Well, there are no questions as of yet, but a lot of people are popping in and popping out. So, but there's been at least about 60 people popping in and popping out.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We thank you. We thank you all of the
Absolutely.
to all of the audience members on TikTok and Esther's
Yeah.
page. Esther,
There
such
you
a
go.
brilliant idea. Thank you so much. And this, you know what, Esther, I'm hooked. I want to do this again. I'm also hooked on the
Absolutely.
fact that we have a great friend on the show today, Jeena, who is our great friend. So, Jeena, wow, such an honor to have you on. This is so
Thank you.
fulfilling.
Amazing.
You know what? It's life changing because I'm not going to look at meditation the same way. And
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
agree.
Esther, you had a question, I believe, because I'm going to ask one afterwards. Go ahead and ask.
Well, I didn't really have a question per se. I just wanted to understand, when you got your voice back, do you think that it was because of this program that you had developed, that inadvertently you had developed with?
Yeah, so at that time, I
Yeah.
didn't even know that this was turning out to be a technique or a program. I just kept experimenting with it, and I developed things, and I had folders in my computer that said, okay, this. And it still didn't strike me that this was turning out to be a technique. I was
Right.
still, yeah. And then what happened, the way I got back my voice was because I was using it on myself heavily all the time. Somewhere, I think the trapped emotions, the negative trapped emotions in my system were released in like in a way that I didn't even realize at the time. Now I'm very clear about how that happened. At the time, I was not clear. And when that leaves, and I'm saying this to everybody, if you have a throat problem or a stomach problem or a heart problem or a head problem, like Esther's migraine, let's say that for example. So it's, if you translate it to the chakra concept, it's just energy centers that are just stuck for whatever reason. ABCD reasons doesn't matter. For me, I know why my throat was stuck, and why the doctors and the medication and the tests could not help me is because I had anger in my system that
Interesting.
was hidden. I had suppressed anger for so long. I had no idea I had that kind of anger because I was a sweet person. Everybody thought of me as sweet, very calm, and very cute kind of a person. How can she be so? I'm asking myself that question. How can I go from that person to such aggression and anger? And then I found the root of it, and then I worked on the root, and I turned it around. Then I saw that anger was not the problem. It's the way I was suppressing is the problem. Anger
Right.
is good if you know how to be angry for the right reasons and turn your anger into energy for good. So if Nelson Mandela did not get angry about the fact that things were going wrong, there would be we would still have slaves, right? So the point is that anger is beautiful if you know how to turn it around into positive change or something. But what I was doing was sitting with that anger and letting it just grow and cultivate more and more of itself inside. So things like that. And I think when I shifted those things, the block from my throat chakra was removed, so I could now speak my
Interesting.
truth. I could speak my truth, and so my voice came back, you see. So losing my voice was extremely important for my life. I If there's a God, there's a universe, there's any powers out there, I want to thank that power for taking away my voice, because that's what helped me find my true voice to help or to empower humanity.
Well, we have about 10 minutes left. I know that you revigorated us. We're good for an extra 2 hours, but unfortunately, we have to cut this short. Like in 10 minutes, we got to go. We don't have much time left. I want to leave some space for Esther to ask a couple of more questions, maybe a question or two from the audience. But I have an observation to make. This must marry so well with astral projection.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
of course, because that's what we would, in a way, that's what we were doing when we were doing this, but we didn't go deep into it. The idea was that you project your awareness outside of your body. It's as simple as that. Because the body is where the, okay, now I might sound a little extra spiritual, but the body is where the karma sticks. So all the all the attachments, the sufferings, attachments, all that is, we can only feel it because we're in this 3D body. We perceive our environment and our lives because we're in the body, in the physical realm. So the moment we take one step out of the physical and outside, in the ancient Indian yogic tradition, they call it Shambhavi, means between the time between the, like, either the dusk or the dawn, neither day nor night, that state. So you're leaving the physical, but you're not leaving so much that you go completely lost, but you can at least detach from the physical for some time and come back to the body and feel all of that. But when you detach, you're able to see things from a completely different viewpoint, and then you come back. And in that whole process, you're empowered because you're no longer stuck. So I
So
just
that
do it every day, but I don't use those terms too much. I'll be honest, and this is a candid chat, so I can say this. I don't use those terms too much because some people then want to categorize me into the, oh, then she's just being too spiritual. I mean, everything is spiritual. You are spirit in action. But I don't use too much of those terms because some people just zone out. But everything I'm doing is based on the ancient wisdom that I experienced in my body, not from books, but through my downloading of wisdom that happened when I lost my voice.
So practical application. I'm also a voiceover artist, though right now I'm a
Nice.
little nasally because of my
Oh, you're
COVID.
doing great. I love your voice.
Oh, thank you so much. So sometimes before I have to do either an audition or actually do a performance, I'll drink water, I'll have a green apple. I'm just wondering, is there like a quick technique I could use to make sure that my voice is clear and strong using your program?
Two things. So in the burnout program, there is that the third module, which was on connecting body, mind, and heart. I say this to all singers or anyone who has a voice-related profession. Two suggestions I give. One is connect with the body before you connect anywhere with your audience. Forget all that. Just connect with your body. Check what your body is feeling. And you will notice before we go on stage or before we face the microphone, we are feeling things in the body that are undefined, and we need to define them and put them in right boxes and say, okay, there is this tension here, and we're going to just take it out of the body and put it inside this nice box. We will deal with it after I finish the recording or after the show or whatever. So at least if I'm aware of my body, a lot can just happen. Because bottom up, see the chakras below, when they're in sync or in a grounded state, when you move up, then you come to the throat. The throat is an expressive chakra. is the one that with which you express yourself the most. So it cannot express something clearly if everything else is in a fog. So first we clear the fog, and then we come to the throat. And the second thing is, like in you need to, so one is connecting with the body, and the other is you need to release. After you connect with the body, release what doesn't need to be there. And once that release happens, you're now ready to now I became a voice coach after I got back my voice and all that. And apparently I used to show up first on Google when someone searched for a voice coach in Mumbai.
Really?
And
Wow.
I found that I'm like, oh, I'm really famous in this. But I realized why that I realized why that ended up happening is because I kept reminding. I was teaching in my classes, not modulation, not pitch, and not that, of course, that too. But I was focusing more on this stuff. So at the time, there was no business on conscious music code, nothing. I was not Jeena Earthiva as yet. But subconsciously, I was already leading people in that direction. And I had students that had nodules and this and that, and doctors told them the same thing. Oh, you cannot sing, you should stop talking, you should and they all recovered. And I wondered, I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving them medicines. What's really happening here? What's happening is they are getting rid of what they don't need, and they're connecting with the body. That's the only tip. And it takes 2 to 3 minutes to do that, sometimes even 10 seconds. You can just quickly ground yourself in the body. So
I will try that. Thank you.
So
definitely don't go to the head to be avoided, body and heart to be met.
Okay.
So
Got
in
it.
closing, we're going to be putting up the social media links where you can reach Jeena, who is a singer, a music producer. She's got amazing music out there. She's got an amazing program. We encourage you to go on to the website that we are putting up right here. You can
Yeah.
go on and discover Gina's music. Esther, such a beautiful show. Wow, I had a lot of fun. The experience was awesome. I'd like to thank on my behalf, your behalf, and Jenny's behalf, everyone for tuning in on all of the social media platforms, including today's experimental TikTok.
Yeah, there's
Thank
about
you everyone for joining.
5 people they're still there. There's 5 people left, but a lot of them jumped in and jumped out. So yeah, it's amazing. I'm glad that we did this, and more people can be exposed to what you're doing, Jeena, and to what we're doing as well. So yeah, I'm glad that
Thank
we
you.
did this.
This was
Thank you for being so
great.
gracious to
Thank
participate.
you.
Thank you, Jeena. Thank you, Jenny, for producing the show. And Esther, thank you so much for being such an amazing co-host. You're a warrior. You're up there. You're not at 100%. You just came on to the show. You're doing your thing. Thank you so much for being the wonderful co-host that you are. I'm having a lot of fun in the show. And thank you, everyone.
Thank
Well.
you, Robert.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Stand by. We're going to be closing. Just watch what goes on as we close. Stay to the end, folks, on TikTok. Thank you, everybody. See you next time. Bye now.
Bye.